Guys and gals, you're welcome to skip to around about the 9 minute and 15-second mark where the actual tarot starts if you don't want to listen to the intro. So you can go to 9 minutes and 10 seconds where the tarot starts. Just before I start this reading, I would like to address all of those so-called debunkers or fact checkers. You will see that there is existence of recorded testimony and written statements from a man by the name of William Kums. And you will see that, for example, there will be these fact checkers saying that there is no credibility or these are conspiracy theories. Let me correct you there. When somebody makes an allegation and they swear an affidavit and they give a credible account and lodge a complaint and come out with it publicly, that is not a conspiracy theory. That is an allegation. And there is nothing that discredits Mr. Kums' allegation. I haven't found one single thing that proves he's wrong, except that the Royal Archives apparently do not have any record of the Queen and Prince Philip visiting Kamloops in October of 1964. That doesn't mean that they didn't visit there. These are the royals. And they have visited Kamloops many times before. There were also two other boys who recall seeing what William Kums saw. And you will also recall that Mr. Kums was murdered by lethal injection in a Vancouver hospital. Yes, it is true. It is true. The coroner's office refuses to comment on it. It was prior to him coming to London to give his testimony in front of an international tribunal that the Queen ignored. They tried to subpoena her, but she thought she was too important to attend. In another reading, I've already gone through the William Kums account. He even recalled the names. He recalled that there were 7 boys and 3 girls. This is the exact ratio of child trafficking in the UK, by the way. It's more boys than girls. And he also recalled that she picked the smartest. And that is what the royal family has always done. You only have to look at accounts that actually have happened in the past. Former queens, in fact, picked up children off the streets and abducted them and put them in choirs. They were looking for the most talented and the ones that could sing in tune. If you don't believe me, it's just you haven't done your research. This is not the purpose of this video today. What I'm looking at, however, I have done a little research and I have discovered a very weird visit that is documented and that the Royal Family Archives cannot dispute because it's recorded. A very lengthy visit to an Aboriginal site in a very remote area right next to Kamloops. You could walk from Merritt to where they were. Let me read you the quote, and then we're going to do a reading on what the heck they were doing there. They were going to Kamloops constantly. Come on. This is it's almost all Aboriginal and schools for Aboriginal children. What was she doing there? Well, we're going to find out. By the way, the residential school in Kamloops that the Queen did visit, where William Kums claims that after the picnic, the 10 children In fact, it looks from the reading like he was a little insulted that he wasn't chosen. Thank God he wasn't, though. However, she ended up having him murdered anyway. But that school has now been shut down, and William Kums recalled children being murdered by the priests, thrown out windows. So you might think, oh, that's really too much, Emma. Is it? Well, actually, the 210 bodies of children have been recovered, and the forensic pathologists have proven that they were all subject to murder and torture. So William Kums was very credible. He was not a conspiracy theorist. He was an abused child. And how dare these debunkers and fact checkers? You guys can just go to hell. That's what you can do. And don't think that you can manipulate people by flooding the internet with, it's debunked, this has been debunked. Go debunk yourself, you bunker, you dodo head. Let's get to some truth here. Stop lying for the royal family. Stop your lies. Sorry, guys. I just get very emotional about that. Now, wait till you hear this, is what they can. Hey, debunkers, you can't deny this because this is from the Royal Archives. And you tell me what they were doing there. Have a listen to this. So there was one very long, extended stay that the Queen had to Kamloops in 1959. So first, they talk about how they had met with the mayor, who was then John Fitzwater. He actually was an Englishman himself. And they went on a tour around the city in a limousine, in a Chevrolet limousine. It goes on and on. They visited business, etc. And then guess what they did? They didn't get on their plane and go back. The visit, goes on, included a lengthy getaway to a remote site on Pennask Lake near Merritt. Now, if you look at a map, you will find that is smack dab next to the old, well, it was running then, the residential school, and it could not have been called a school then. It was more like a concentration camp. These were kids that had been taken away from their parents. It was run by the Catholic priests. And this was during the time, so this would have been during the time that those 210 children were being murdered. Now, let's see what the hell she was doing there. Okay? This is in the backdrop. I've already done a reading on it's clear to me that she did absolutely abduct 10 children with her in October of 1964. I don't care what anyone says. I've seen the cards and I feel it. And so that's that. But we're going back in time now to 1959. Let's see why they were in that remote area, out in the middle of an Aboriginal. Why that frig would the Queen be out there? We're going to find out. All right. Thanks for sticking out the intro. All right, so we're going back to 1959. Going back to 1959. Funny that they don't mention the dates there. 1959. Why did the Queen and Prince Philip go to a remote site on the Pennask Lake near Merritt? Why did they spend days there? They said they were fishing and basking in the sun. It was a hell of a place. I mean, why did they go to the remote area? Why was the Queen? Why was Queen Elizabeth? Okay, in 3, please. What was her interest? in that remote area, and two more. I'm looking at the ceiling, so I don't know what's coming up. One more. What was her interest in that remote area? Children. 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 Watching, spying, and there is a chariot ready to go. Travel. Spying, watching, children. We have two children. It was a remote area because they could take a risk, you see. Wow. Jesus. I tried to see how they traveled out of it. Anyway, just give me a minute. I wonder, I'm looking at possibility of how they with the chariot there with travel. Just a moment. Geez, by the way, I'm also seeing there's records of her going to Kamloops in 1939 and 1951. I mean, this is just weird. Just weird. I can't find any record of how they got out of Kamloops, like travel-wise. Anyway, let's just keep going. What was her interest? Why did she go to this remote area? Why did she go to this remote area? All right, look at the children. All right, there's because now look at this. Two of Wands is usually a decision to go overseas. Why did she go to why did she go to that remote area? Now, let me show you something, people. Do you see that King of Cups? I'm shaking right now. That King of Cups is not her husband. He was not a water sign. Her husband, Prince Philip, was a Gemini, a June 10th Gemini. That is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. It's a powerful man. He could be overseas. There's some kind of a choice, some kind of a venture. I'm going to clarify. See, I'm thinking that's either her son, Charles, needing some, little something hot and spicy, or it could be Savile. I am going to clarify. Show me the King of Cups. What interest did he have? Ten of Swords and the Moon. Deception. Covering up a death. What was she doing in 1959? What did the King of Cups want? What did the King of Cups want? Sex. What is the Ten of Swords? The Nine of Swords and the Ten of Swords. I don't believe I'm seeing. I think somebody he can kill. What did he want? The Seven of Cups. Did he want to be able to escape judgment? Look at the naked children there. There's somebody overseas. A contract overseas. I want to choose. That's a Scorpio. I believe that's a contract with a Scorpio. I think that's Savile. This aside for a moment. What did the King of Cups, there's Ten of Swords again. What did the King of Cups, who is the King of Cups? Somebody who exchanges, look at this. This is overseas travel. There's an exchange going here. King of Cups is the King of Cups. Gift to the King of Cups. There's an exchange here. He's given love. There's some kind of an exchange here. Let's just keep going. It looks like trafficking to me. Anyway, child trafficking. What was Queen Elizabeth's interest in going to a remote area? It was very bad. It's related to betrayal and something that's wrong. What was Queen Elizabeth's children? Betrayal of children. Murder of children. What was Queen Elizabeth's interest? To conceal something. To conceal something. To conceal something about children. To take, to force. To conceal. Children. What was her interest in spending a lengthy amount of time in a remote area near children to give children to that bastard? Because that's what he wanted. Yep. There was a proposal. And look at this. 3 of Swords. This was wrong. It's a children. 2 children. Boys, too. Wrong. We lied to these children. Children. We've got all the children, except for the Page of Pentacles. All the children in the deck came out with the 3 of Swords. And there's a ruthless decision. Overseas travel. Yeah, sex. Made them, held out the bait, took an opportunity. Look at this tower to bring them to their tower, to their ruin. That's the tower. That's the castle. Was it so that somebody could have a fun with the children, throw them out of the window? What did the King of Cups want? Do something wrong. What did the King of Cups want? Children, to kill children, to break their heart. Now, that's why they went to the remote area where there are Aboriginal children. Easy kill, right? My blood is boiling right now. What really bothers me are the people who lie for the monarchy. Stop your lying. Stop your lying. Let's switch decks. Show me what Prince Philip. So she was also there. Prince Philip was there with her at that remote area. Sorry, guys. Let's see where the where their security staff or RCMP or whoever were guarding them when they were in that remote area. Where did they see the Queen children? Look at the 6 of Cups. Children. Where did they see them going? 6 of Cups, 9 of Cups to meet with children. I should probably switch decks so you can see. So the security people, I think it was RCMP, but there had to be some of the royal security. When they were in this very remote area, watching the actions of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. Where did the security people note them going? Now have a look at this. This is funny. This is somebody who noticed some children missing. Whoa. 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 These are missing children, or very, very poor children. What did the security people notice? Eyeing children, naked children. What did the security people notice them doing? Meeting with children. Did the security people notice Queen Elizabeth making deals, offering jobs? What did the security people notice? They know a truth here. They know a truth here. This is offer of work. There's a promise here with the Knight of Pentacles. It's an obligation to be loyal so that they... Now, look at this. They noticed the children were missing. My left ear just blasted off. They noticed the children were missing, and I'm going to show you why. What they noticed was that, so here's someone looking for a truth, and there's a child missing. Let me show you why I know that that's what this means. Now you see a child. Now you don't. Child is missing. See that? There's no doubt in my mind. They might have taken one on that trip or something. They noticed that they took a child back with them, at least one. The RCMP noticed, yep. They noticed first there were 7 children and then there were 6. Did the RCMP or the security staff notice something was out in the open? There's some kind of, 3, oh my God, guys, this is the same thing. So there would have been a little picnic outside. They were watching. What else did the RCMP notice when they were watching the Queen in the remote area? Yeah. Children feeling bad. There's a truth here about some children who didn't want to go. And there might have been a sudden tower here. I mean, these were the children. I mean, William Kums gave testimony about children being thrown out a window. And let me just read to you something. So this is interesting because we're looking at the 1959 visit. Kums attended 2 British Columbia schools, Kamloops Indian Residential School and Mission Indian Residential School, from 1958 to 67, including, it goes on, the 2 men, well, there were 2 men. First, Sylvester Green was the other man who was giving testimony. The 2 men first told their stories in a film by Kevin Annett. So this is Mr. Kums talking. I witnessed too many children being dragged by the hair to the room of a Catholic brother. Mr. Kums said, that was the worst thing that hurts me is the sexual abuse. That's what he was doing. I was dragged to that room one night and I found out what was happening. Sexual abuse and getting beaten up and forced to stay in his room all night. I was about 9 years old. Eventually, he said, students threw a blanket over the brother's head and beat him up. Good. They had watched it happen too many times. Now, here is some testimony of Sylvester Green. No matter how old you are, it hurts. For me, I was sent to Edmonton in 1949, and left there in 1959. In that school, there were predators. Oh, he's talking about Edmonton. Okay, let's get rid of that. All right, just a moment now. Go back to the Kamloops. Hang on. So these were schools, by the way, they were not run by the monarchy. They were run by the Catholics in Canada. But it appears that, this was a favorite destination of the Queen's. Kamloops was the largest school in the Canadian government's residential school system for Indigenous children. The schools were run by churches and operated between the late 1800s and 1990s. They were meant to eradicate Indigenous cultures in what Canada's Truth and Reconciliation Commission called cultural genocide. Extreme abuse and neglect of children at the schools was the norm, not the exception. The commission previously reported that at least 4,100 children died at 130 such schools across the country, with disease and maltreatment being the most prevalent causes. The number of deaths, however, is likely far higher than that count. Many times, families of the children were not informed of their deaths and the bodies were never returned. Now, in February 2010, a man named William Arnold Kums made a statement about an incident he recalled while a student at Kamloops. Kums identified himself as a member of the Interior Salish, an Indigenous community spanning the U.S. Pacific Northwest and Southwest Canada. Kums' statement is extremely traumatic. He states that while a child resident at Kamloops, he witnessed a Catholic priest who worked at the school kill 2 children. And by the way, this is the site where the 210 children's bodies. Now just listen to this and watch this card as I read this. One thrown off a balcony, and the other he saw being buried with the help of a second priest. He also states he was tortured by the clergy running the school, having his bones broken for simply trying to flee. Here's what Kums said about the Queen and Prince Philip. In September 1964, when I was 12 years old, I was an inmate at the Kamloops school, and we were visited by the Queen of England and Prince Philip. I remember it was strange because they came by themselves, no big fanfare or anything. But I recognized them. And the school principal told us it was the Queen. And so that he remembers the school principal saying it was the Queen. And we all got given new clothes and good food for the first time in months the day before she arrived. Now, here's what he says. The day she got to the school, I was part of a group of kids that went on a picnic with the Queen and her husband and school officials down to a meadow near Dead Man's Creek. After a while, I saw the Queen leave that picnic with 10 children from the school, and those children never returned. We never heard anything more about them and never saw them again, even when we were older. They were all from around here, but they all vanished. The group that disappeared was 7 boys and 3 girls in age from 6 to 14 years old. I don't remember their names, just an occasional first name like Cecilia, and there was an Edward. And he also remembered that there was a last name, Armuse, and I can't remember the other one. I think it was Arnold. Anyway, what happened was also witnessed by my friend George Adolph, who was 11 years old at the time and a student there too. And problem is he's dead now. Now, Kums was set to give testimony in London before a tribunal that had been set up. They tried subpoenaing the Queen, but she just ignored it. But this was a big deal. It was an international tribunal trying to, I can't remember what the name of the tribunal was. I mentioned it in a previous reading. But just a few months before he was scheduled to testify, now he's already given, his statements have already, there's a record in an archive of his statements that's being kept by a certain organization, a charity or a registered charity for Indigenous children. But his girlfriend claims that he is in perfect health. All of a sudden, the hospital in Vancouver where they were living, and it was a Catholic-run hospital, phoned him up and said that his doctor had changed and they wanted him to come in for some tests. He had no idea, so he naively showed up at the hospital. Within hours, he was dead. And his girlfriend is I mean, it's unbelievable. He was injected with something. Now, the coroner's office, the Vancouver coroner's office, refuses to comment on the cause of his death. Refuses. So that's why he couldn't give testimony. But there is, for all these idiot debunking people, debunk this and debunk that, go debunk yourself. This is a credible allegation, that's what it is. Face it. Now, it's interesting that the Buckingham Palace never denied it. They just didn't comment on it. And they refused to honor subpoenas that, they just ignored them. Now, but this 1959 visit that we're looking at here is important because they do acknowledge that. They also acknowledge a visit they're starting to acknowledge more and more visits. So there was a 1959 visit. There was a 1970. This is funny. They've had to acknowledge another visit. So they've now acknowledged. First, they said there was only one in 1959, and then one after the school's closure. Well, here's what they're now admitting, because I guess they can't get away with it. This is the 1959 visit that we're looking at now. Now they're also admitting that there was a 1971 visit, and there was a 1983 visit. That was after the school's closure. But anyway, so if they previously denied that there was a visit in 1971 and now they're admitting it, they could easily suddenly have to admit the 64 visit. They were in a remote area, and remember that Kums said there was no big fanfare. Show me a little bit more. Show me what Prince Philip knows the reason why they were in that. Jeez, look at this. There's children. That's an organization. Look at the children. Aboriginal children. Look at that. I'm talking to that woman. There's concealment. Jeez. A woman who's sick. I'm taking the child away. Show me what Prince Philip remembers about why were they in that remote area, children? Why were they in that, children? And it's taking children away, the fool. Trying to figure out. Children. What does Prince Philip remember? Offers, making deals. What does Prince Philip remember? Children. Well, look at this. Somebody not wanting to, a child not, they may have approached, these are poor children on the street, poor children sitting on the street, making offers to these children. And you know what they were offering them? Nothing. They were selling them a dream. What the children really wanted was something real. They were selling them a dream there. Going around picking on children, sitting, Here's what they were really offering: death. Obligation. Show me what Prince Philip remembers them doing. What does Prince Philip remember? What does he know the truth is about why they were there? Look at this. Just look at this. Giving presents to children. But remember that this woman is invested in this. She's pretending to be generous. She's pretending to donate, but she's got a financial interest in this. And she's gonna give the better opportunity to the child who's in the smartest child, and that's exactly what they did. They picked out the ones that were smart. I don't know why. Yeah, and then they wanted an obligation. Look at the tower. Look at the tower. Wreck their lives. To wreck their lives. Yeah. Bring them back home so they can have their lives wrecked. This is bringing somebody overseas as well. Show me more about what the security noticed. That she was saying, how do we conceal? We've got to conceal these children. Show me more about what the security noticed. Yep, we're going to abduct these children. We got to conceal them. They may have taken 2. They were abducting children. They were abducting children. These are missing children. And they're going to conceal. It's disgusting. All right, now, I'm going to take one more crack at who that King of Cups is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask, how was Savile? Because I know he's a Scorpio, and that's what seemed to be coming out with the King of Cups. King of Pentacles. How is Savile? Look at him wanting a little girl. Look at that. Look. Asshole. Excuse my language. So when the Queen and Prince Philip were in that remote area with the Aboriginal children, how was Savile feeling? Queen of Swords and 5 of Wands. Look at the children. There's the Queen of Swords. I guess that's the Queen. How was Jimmy Savile feeling while the Queen was... He couldn't wait. Look at the child. Maybe the Queen was messaging him. How was Savile feeling when she was... Look at this, 9 of Cups. 5 of Cups, guilt. King of Pentacles, child. Oh my God. How was Savile feeling about the Queen in 1959? How is Savile feeling about the Queen in 19... Look at this naked girl. The world, overseas. 5 of Cups, perhaps he was feeling guilty. What was Savile thinking and feeling? I mean, this is disgusting. We've got an old man cuddling up to this child. There's a naked woman there, and the world. And that's overseas. That's world. That's overseas travel. Look at this. 8 of Wands. Jesus. I don't know what that's for. That's scary. But anyway, that can be travel, communication, fast communication. How was Savile feeling about the Queen? He was communicating about children. What was he communicating with the Queen about? Children. What was Savile communicating with the Queen about? The devil, the shadow dance, and children. The devil. And there's an old man with a little girl. What was Savile? Ace of Pentacles. He was paying her. There was some kind of an offer or payment. Yeah. There's the world. There's a naked child. Overseas travel and ending completion. There's the 9 of Wands. Something that's been done over there. There's the King of Cups. That's Savile. It's Savile. Because there it is, King of Cups. I'm going to see what was the relationship between Queen and Savile in 1959. There's the King of Cups again. Guys, she might have been defending him. What was the relationship between the Queen and Savile? The Ace of Cups again. A giant offer. Yeah, 5 of Wands. And that is, causing strife. What there was work here. something being done over and over, just causing strife. Yep. And he was, getting really popular. There's a truth about this. There's a truth that needs to come out in the open. There's a truth about this guy. There's a truth. There's a truth about somebody who is taking advantage. There was a truth about somebody who is taking advantage of giving, these children. There's a truth about children there's poor children there. And there's the queen, picking the beggar in the best shape, the child in the best shape. Somebody should be ashamed of themselves. Yeah, ashamed of themselves. Maybe Savile is actually coming through in this reading. Something came out in the open. Trickery, lies, deceit, illegality. Yeah, and there's child trafficking. Okay? There it is right there. And that was the relationship between the queen and Savile. That's why she was there, like it or not. Every single freaking deck is saying the same. World travel. What did the queen know that Savile was up to? What's the hunt, the woodward, hunting, justice, and the world is overseas travel. What did the queen know? And that can also be a legal contract. The devil, corruption, sex, addiction. And there was the woodward is card number 11, which is justice, which is a legal contract. Somebody had a legal contract, a legal commitment with the devil. Look at all these skeletons. Now, yeah, this was being maintained. They were two peas in a pod. They were maintaining something. Look at the 6 of cups. Children. 6 of cups. There were a lot of meetings, I guess. Now, I'd like to go to 1964. What I'd like to do is I'd like to get a different deck. And I'd like to ask, how... When the queen heard of this allegation, I believe he brought it out. Was it February 2010? Just a minute now. When did Kums bring out his... February 2010, yeah. So in 2010, that was just a year. I think that was the year that William and Kate got engaged. Or just a year before. Yeah, I think that's when they got engaged. And then they were married the next year. So just to so in February 2010, when the queen heard this statement being made by William Kums, what was she thinking and feeling? Well, there's anger. There's a horny man, sorry. When the queen heard what William Kums there's a horny man and there's sex. When the queen heard William Kums' statement, what was she? Judgment. There it is. So she was worried about judgment. When the queen heard Kums' statement, yeah, judgment and the 10, these are 10 children, 10 of swords. Judgment. These, in fact, tell you something that's really interesting. Do you know these children's bodies, I believe, these are dead bodies. There's a bunch of them. And they're somewhere. I'm just going to get out the 10 dead bodies. There's the sleepers, that card is called. I'm just going to get out the deck. I'm going to read the reversed energy of it because I think that's what we have here. Delusion, denying the truth of a matter, being proved wrong, having misjudged a situation, remorse, or, depending on surrounding cards, maybe a lack of faith or doubts, repentance. Yeah, she didn't expect that, the uneducated Aboriginal man to be able to, put a couple of sentences together. Well, he was being taken seriously. How did she feel about William Kums when he was making his statement? Look at the past, look at the children. Look at the past, look at the picnic, look at the children. 6 of Cups. The High Priestess secret, confidential information. Keep it quiet. If this gets out, this can cause a lot of damage. Oh, there's Kate. Well, it's funny that I mentioned Kate just before. See, Kate, they had just gotten engaged. Yeah. And underneath Kate is the moon, no doubt. She wanted to keep it a secret from Kate. Anyway. What did the Queen remember about 1964? She bloody well remembers going there. That's overseas travel. And look, if that's actually looks like the landscape there. Yeah. Travel overseas, the world, and Native Warrens. What did the Queen know to be true about 1964? She took children, missing children. Travel, take them quick, missing children. And look at this, that's a school. Missing children. Missing children. There's no lies here that Kums was telling. There's the straightforward communication, the straight up truth about missing children. It's true. I'm sorry. It's true. There's a couple of other cards breaking. Now, that, I believe that is Lady Diana. I really do. Could be why she was knocked off. Anyway. I believe that Lady Diana found out about all this too. That could be why they killed her. The truth. Somebody seeking a truth. Somebody knew a truth. Truth is all I'm seeing. Truth about sex slavery with the horned one, the devil, and missing children. I don't have to go any further. Now, let's see how she felt about, because that William Kums' death was announced, I think it was February 26th. I think it was 2012. He was supposed to testify later on that year. I better get another deck. Actually, I'm going to get the Gilded Tarot. What did the Queen know to be true? I'm going to add one part of this reading in. How does King Charles feel about this allegation regarding 1964 and the 10 missing children? How does King Charles, does he know to be true? How does King Charles feel about it? Look at the children. 6 of Cups, children passed. I don't know what this is. Could be anger or fighting or what does he know to be true? This 1964 thing? There's something about Camilla in the past, or, oh no, Diana. There's something about Diana here. Holy shit. Whoa. Diana loved children. I should switch the question to, how did Diana feel about that allegation? Because I believe this is why she was killed. How did Diana was killed in 1997 or 8. 1990. She was murdered before Jill Dando was murdered. Just imagine all these women murdered who were trying to seek the truth. Is it any wonder? Any woman who dared to ask the children not be abused and seek the truth gets murdered. Anyway, how did she feel about it? The devil and the Wheel of Fortune. The devil, cruelty, slavery, sex abuse. How did she feel about it? Something was very unbalanced and unfair. How did Diana feel about this 1964 incident? That it was in the past, and there was an imbalance that needed to be corrected. How did she feel about that? It was true. It was true. I'm not even going to bother asking. It's true, True, true. Now I'm going to let you go. Thanks for watching, guys. I am watching the comments, and I am going to do a reading on Princess, and keep suggesting readings in the comment section. We'll slowly get to it. What I'm wanting to do is before I post a reading, I like to make sure that I'm feeling like 99.99999% right, if not 100% right. So this is why the only stuff that I put out is the stuff that I'm sure of. Sometimes it takes me days and days and days to dig into something. So I am reading your comments. Some of the topics that you're suggesting are really tricky. I'm really finding it hard. There's so many complicated twists and turns. The one thing that I wanted to ask you guys, because a lot of you are very, very intuitive. For those of you who watched the video on the murder of Alyssa, the Latvian girl, two things. A, are you getting any energy on who the dog walker was? Why won't they mention who the dog walker was? I just have this weird feeling like it could have been a woman who was walking the Queen's dogs, who might have been working for the monarchy, who might have known Alyssa, and who might have wanted to, deliberately look for her body and call the police. I don't know. I'm getting a weird feeling from the dog walker. And the other thing is, I'm getting a feeling like that the police knew something about the royal family before the body was found. In other words, maybe they hired the dog walker. Maybe they had an insider. And also the police were calling, it's not an open investigation anymore because they've just given up, but they still are, it's still unsolved. There was a specific period of time that it was between, I think it spanned the August and September of 2011. Yeah. And what they were looking for was specific information from people who organized all the events at Sandringham during those 2 months, which tells me that she might have been working as a server or something. The only other thing that could be is that perhaps that dog walker picked up the cell phone. Maybe it was there, or perhaps somebody, at that party from the royal family took her cell phone and took it inside the castle. And maybe that's why it was pinging, because the police were clearly getting the cell phone pinging at Sandringham. So, and it pings. The cell phone will only ping when it's on, whether it's on, if it's on, or it's on and being used, and if it's just on and not being used, the location has to be on. So it was on. Somebody activated it at some point. Maybe they have all her text messages. I think they know. I think they know who's responsible, but of course they don't want to. They don't want to. They don't want to be disrespectful toward all these people here who are transporting children. Crazy. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, guys.